hearing two councilmen about redeveloping the downtown. You basically know a plan that worked in Easton, and I know that it'll work in Phillipsburg. Before you can get a developer to be interested in the town, you need a bulldozer. It'll improve the quality of life, clean spaces. I said it before, I'll say it again. And they said they couldn't do it, you can't do it, it can be done. It can be done. That will make a developer interested in coming in, like when the City Hall incident back in several years ago, the 400 block of South Main Street. It can be done. They did it easily. Knocked down the Perkins, the cinema, in that drug-infested hotel. It's all gone. And look what it's become. They say that it can't be done. It can be done. I guarantee it. And in the long run, it will pay off. What you say about landlords now, and I'm proud to be one of the good ones in the town, and I know he's all about it. When, back in the day, when I took 10 landlords to court and won 9 out of 10 times, and the technicality, the time I lost, is because as a councilman, they said I didn't have the authority to bring this to fruition. What I'm saying now, is there a way that you can have an ordinance, or it's just something to put out there that gives you the authority to oversee, to be up with the inspectors? You can go in there and create and go after these problems. That's where the technicality was.
So, to answer your question, and I think you may already know the answer.
I might not, though.
You might not, so I'm going to try. Because of our form of government, we need full cooperation between the administrative and legislative branch, right? So we can write the laws, but we certainly can enforce them. We can ask them to be enforced. We can request they be enforced. You know?
Put you in charge.
I wish, unfortunately, in our form of government, that would be usurping the authority of the mayor, and it would be an ethics violation on behalf of this legislative body. So, I mean, we can absolutely pass an ordinance that says we're in charge, but is it legal? No, not at all. It wouldn't be held legal. The mayor could sue us, take us to court, and we would probably be found at fault.
But it's up to the mayor as the CEO to make sure that these things are being enforced.
Sure. So what needs to happen is, again, with the process, we can write the laws, and we're in the process of doing that. We're strengthening our landlord-tenant laws. Many landlords have left me nasty voicemails because of it. You're not one of them. But the problem is we do have
not reviewing that.
no, but we do have a landlord problem, and it's not the good landlords, but it is the absentee landlords and those who do not care about their tenants. You see with a lot of our residents, I know you have, because when you were a councilman, you have been in homes with me. You saw the ceiling fan that fell out of the young lady's home, that fell out of her ceiling and almost landed on her door. That was on Washington Street. So there are people out there living in squalor while these landlords are collecting their rent, $1,100, $1,200 a month, when it's hard to make ends meet. I think we need to get rid of the stigma that because you can't afford an $1,100 or $1,200 a month rent, you're on Section 8, you're a bad person, right? There's a lot of single parents out there with children that do work and struggle every day to take care of their children. And they should be afforded the same type of living arrangements that you and I share. I would say share, that you and I live together. You understand. I would appreciate it if in the future the mayor would sit with us, perhaps even on the landlord-tenant committee, and commit to enforcing these types.
Has he ever done that?
He has not. It's a struggle, but we are trying.
But what you guys are saying is the developer process has to be first before anything comes out.
Thank you. That's good.
No.
Davis.
Andy, it's 222 Lower Street. I wasn't going to say anything until you brought up that particular property today. That gentleman has just acquired 2 more properties within feet of that property. One of them that I can see from my backyard. He had it on the market for $58,000. The fence is falling down. The roof has holes in it. There's black mold in the property. He's reduced it to $48,000. So let's be clear. He's not flipping. He's buying and reselling. Flipping requires work to be done on these properties. The one I can see from my backyard, I went to our inspection department last summer. Said, please go down and look at that. Nothing was done. The fence is worse than it was a year ago. And this is what I have to look at. 2 years ago, I extended an invitation to the current council and the mayor to come take a walk through my block of the world. So I will offer that invitation again. Because we can't continue to live like this in this town. Multiple cars from Pennsylvania parked on my street. One with a flat tire that's been there for 2 weeks. Nothing gets done.
I saw your driveway was partially blocked as well. Not that I'm stalking you, but I do drive up Louis.
I'm tired of calling about that too. Nobody does anything. Nobody can give me definitive answers to how close to my driveway somebody
So
can be
that,
parked.
the Jeep wasn't your car, right? There was
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, this is all the time. This is all the time on our street. I'm just saying, this gentleman, again, is one of these landlords, if you want to call him that, he's putting black garbage bags over the windows so you can't see into these properties. And then leaving a light on so if somebody rides by, it looks like somebody's living in the house and they're not. He's not flipping. He's not doing the right thing. And we all need to start doing the right thing. Or we're never going to improve anywhere. Something has to get done.
Well said, Ms. Davis. Thank you very much.
She also took these last time. She also took these last time.
Dustin Pierce, 111 Grave Street. Sorry, my intersection doesn't have a sign on it, so I really don't know.
We ordered it.
Okay,
We did order it.
all right.
Didn't we?
Yeah, there was a problem because of the handicap ramp. So they put it on the curb, so they couldn't put a sign it blocked that, so it's gonna be hanging on the street.
Okay,
See, we did order it.
all right.
Vicky's, she's good.
Thank you.
So, the stop sign at Lewis and Fulton, love it. But the only issue I have now is one is a temporary, and it's in a cinder block, and one is on the pole, and when the tree blooms come April, you're not gonna be able to see it. So is there a way that we could put like a permanent solution where there's a stop sign on both sides?
I would have to go back to the engineer for that, to find out what it
Because they
is.
technically have one in the middle of the road, on the corner.
Yeah,
so-
they just put that up temporarily.
That's a temporary
That's a
stop.
temporary until they.
People become accustomed.
Yeah,
Right.
No.
But my question is, there's a tree there, so when you're coming up, you won't see that stop sign until you're on the stop sign.
yeah, that's a trim the tree.
But it's shade tree, and
Shade
there's,
tree.
there's no money in that.
Yes,
So-
there is.
Oh, there is now?
There was last year.
Because when I called, they said, we don't have any money and we can't trim the tree, it's not our responsibility.
$3,000.
There is?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and email Vicky the address or the corner?
I saw it laying down in the windy bay, it was laying in the road, the temporary one.
Good. Told you.
Okay.
The ground's too hard for them to put, stump everything, so come spring it will be done, I'll get it to you.
Sounds good. Another thing, truck route. We have a lot of tractor trailers going up roads that they really shouldn't be going up.
I heard that.
And I really feel like it might be time that we start doing an industry map where, you know, these are the roads that tractor trailers can go on and these are roads that they really can't.
So do you see them a lot down in sick race?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, especially like the truck that got stuck in the thing a couple months ago. So yeah,
What's a thing?
the tunnel,
Oh.
yes.
Hold on.
So that blocked off those intersections, so you had to go the roundabout way to Siggers. So, yeah, I think it might be time, and the roads are not lasting as long, and, you know, having heavy trucks coming up and down these roads is not a good infrastructure move, so if we had a designated route, like it was good when, tractor trailers couldn't make the left there to go into McWayne ductiles, and now they have to make, they couldn't make the right, so now they have to make the left to go down Howard Street and come back around. That was a good move, but now then making the right they have to make a wide swing because people park on the corner and the line is too far up, so people are backing up. So it might be time to start looking into these roads or the route trucks. That's
You mean coming out of the
coming out of, that's McKean?
Sigray Street, going right on the Sigray Street?
No,
No, because now what they have to do is they can't make a right on South Main Street. They can only make a left.
right.
And if they're gonna make a right, they gotta go all the way back to Howard Street and come out on Stockton Street and make their right there.
But they aren't. So like some of them are making it at McKean. So, which
I never saw
is,
it.
and another,
I'm listening to you.
oh, okay.
I hear a timer going on.
Yeah, I hear that too. That's
You
what I
do?
just sent an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's phone.
So, because the other day I was walking and there was a tractor trailer that was trying to turn onto Stockton from Main Street, going towards like Mariana's, and they could not make the turn because there was a car parked there. So
Right.
it's becoming traffic issues and stuff. So I really think that it's time that we look into, designating.
We will go ahead and pass that off as well. I'll do that in a study. Growing up I grew up on Marshall Street. I saw trucks constantly. Somebody just emailed me the other day about trucks being on Orange Street. And again, you saw that?
I was behind the truck that was trying to make that S-turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
They used to do it and get stuck there all the time when I was a kid.
Well, they got stuck there the other day
Did they?
and all this fuel came out.
Well, you know what happens? A lot of times they're going to the school to drop off to the middle school, which is now the elementary school. A lot of the
Yeah.
trucks go there to unload.
This,
We will absolutely, we will look into it.
this guy went to Warren Street toward Marshall Street, tried to make a right-hand turn to go up the hill.
Well, if you would have
And
taken
he
out all
was
the
dead
houses,
stuck.
Council President
Dead
Signy's
stuck.
plan would have been in effect.
Yeah.
Bulldozer and ladder.
So, Dawson, thank you very, very much for your comment. I appreciate that. Is there anyone else? Mr. Timmons?
Bill Timmons, 230 South Main. In relation to what he just brought up, the tractor trailer came down, I guess it was coming down Heckman, turned on the sill, tried to come make a right going towards South Main Street.
And it was stopped.
And, well, he jammed up that intersection there for quite a while until he could get somebody to get behind him and block traffic.
So is anyone calling the police when they see these incidents?
It's on the scanner.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, right? Because that they are public safety personnel.
From my store, I got hit twice parked on Stockton Street from somebody coming out of the foundry, and rather going straight up Sickgrove Street, they make a left. GPS tells them to make a left on Stockton Street and make a right on South Main. They swing wide into the left-hand lane to make that right past my store. And when they whip the back end of the trailer around, it just brings cars on Stockton Street. Or my van is one, it's coming down the street, funerals are down there, trying to make a right while a funeral procession is parked on Stockton. I don't know if there's a solution. But the truck traffic, trying to get up Stockton to Howard or trying to get up to McKean or whatever. I know
Right.
Stockton is a major issue, trying to get cars in and out.
So, it sounds to me like we're going to be paying Stan a lot of money.
We gotta put some signage up, no right-hand turn for trucks on every.
Yeah, but there's a weight limit already.
There is,
downtown.
and I think it's
The
4
weight limit is
tons.
80,000. I
Well,
mean,
sorry.
it's a legal limit, they can drive on South Main, they can drive on Sickgraves. But the way they try and make their turns, a lot of the drivers just don't seem to have the wherewithal. There's some drivers that whip that corner around like it's not even there.
So,
They don't have the training.
we can certainly explore signage, we can certainly explore traffic patterns. I think the first, again, I know a lot of people, I do have to contact the mayor because he does oversee the police department, and he does oversee DPW, and this would fall in line with his responsibilities. So I do have to contact him first.
They just wanted to embellish what he brought up.
I appreciate that, Mr. Timmons. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Mike Bailey, 36 Go Avenue, Phillipsburg. It seems that all these complaints should be handled by the mayor. What's the mayor doing?
He left.
He was at the hall with the union meeting.
Oh, he was just out in the hall? Oh. Is he still out in the hall?
Well, he was with all the police officers talking. There must be 20 of them out there, half the police department's here.
They'll come out with the donuts.
Joe Minor, 392 South Main Street.
Let's be respectful.
The idea of a public official suing is a really bad idea.
I agree, Joe.
Beg pardon?
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta keep it to, citizens can sue citizens. If you really have a complaint and you are in the council, you can find a citizen who might be willing to sue for you. But changing that rule would be destructive, not constructive. In the town,
Joe, if you don't mind, what rule?
one of the previous speaker suggested that you change
I didn't
the
say
rule
change.
forbidding
I said,
That's a council.
forbidding public
Okay,
officials.
just so you understand, there is no, yeah, there's no changing rules. There will be no lawsuits between, there will be no further lawsuits between council.
Yes, yes. Well, the suggestion was made, and I'm speaking against that suggestion that you change the rules.
I have no intention.
Good.
Thank you.
Then there's this general thing that keeps coming up, and when pressed, we all come to the same conclusion. We have a whole lot more better landlords than bad landlords. Yeah, we have some problems, and you have gone about policing them with a more strict inspection thing. And, okay, you want to police the bad ones and leave the good ones alone to do the regular, a good landlord comes in, buys a shack, rebuilds the thing into something worthwhile, and rents it to a person that fits the town. We have lower taxes, and we're a poor town, but we are not a bad town. A bad landlord gets away with doing what he can to barely pass inspection. The solution, of course, is on your next budget to fund a whole lot more money to the inspections department. You considered it last year, and you little.
Well, we did it
this
last
year. Well, you didn't do enough. You didn't do enough. I looked at the numbers. You looked at the numbers. They need more money, but that will help you deal with this poor landlord thing.
Thank you.
Then there's this other thing that keeps coming up, bulldoze development. There are people living in these places. Bulldoze development usually requires public, what's it called? Public domain. Eminent domain, yeah. And you have you have in public all stated, I think all of you stated, you're against it. Okay, keep that in mind and keep it up. Don't look at bulldozing. Look at, if you look from Easton into Phillipsburg Union Square, and you know what it would look like before Cochran got the RCA project and Harry spent the money making that look good. We have a good old facade to look at from Easton. That's the kind of thing we have to go forward on, I believe. That's our way to the future on development. Yeah, we have some residential that you need some money coming into town. Okay, but there's places to put it that don't congest Union Square. Even that is the case. I have more, but I don't
You got a
want to
minute.
overload you.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it next week.
Thank you, Mr. Minor. Is there anyone else? Mr. Case?
Hello.
How are you? Name and address for the record, please.
Excuse me, Rob Case, 33 Thomas Street, Phillipsburg. You had mentioned a specific landlord you've had some issues with in the past.
Yes.
Have you ever requested him to come here and answer questions? Just bear with me. I know where this is going, but bear with me. Just trust me. Have you?
Yes.
Has he answered them?
Yes. Would you like me to tell you how he answered me?
Yes.
You'll have to wait till after the meeting because there's women in the audience.
But has he answered them sufficiently to, and I know the answer to this question, but has he answered them sufficiently to satisfy council?
Not at all.
Does he answer those questions at all at any time? Like, if you requested that he be here, does he show up?
No.
You have subpoena power.
Do we have subpoena
You
power?
do have subpoena
Yes,
power.
we do.
Why don't you hold his feet to the fire and you come in and answer questions?
So if my counsel was in here,
What's the question?
so Mr. Case had a question with regard to subpoenaing a landlord to appear before us. And we are talking about, in particular, as an example, Mr. Einholz.
To have the council issue a subpoena to compel Mr. Einholz to appear?
To answer questions and to hold him accountable to the actions or inactions in which he's doing or not doing.
Right, so the council's role in that is constrained. The mayor and the administration is entrusted with the enforcement of the ordinances, so if there's an ordinance being violated, enforcement of that ordinance and the issuance of a summons by the building department or perhaps the police, if it's a criminal matter, would come from the administration side.
Okay.
Council can notice a property for a habitability hearing,
Right.
but that's still not, doesn't carry the same effect as a subpoena compelling the property owner's appearance. They can appear or not appear.
So I guess then, if that were to have a town council I guess it makes sense that the CEO is able to execute the ordinances and regulations and the policies and procedures, so the town council can more just ask questions, but it's up to the mayor's office to actually hold his feet to the fire.
Yes.
Mr. Case, thank you very much. Mr. Case, if you do want to see the text transcript between myself and Mr. Einholz, I'd be more than happy to start. You're welcome. Mr. Pierce, please. Smile.
Joe Pierce, 911 Sigley Street. Two quick questions.
Yes.
South Main Street, I've noticed a lot of bags in the garbage cans that are residents' garbage, not in garbage cans. I didn't think that was for people to throw their household garbage in.
You must be reading my mind today, Ms. Pierce. In my open time, I'll be discussing the garbage.
Okay. Second thing, Councilman, over the $3,000, correct, for the trees to be cut, trimmed? I called when I lived on Lewis Street. When I called about it, it was John that was in charge. I was told there was no money,
It's now Mike Muffler.
whoever it may be. But when we were having an issue, it was Mike Stires and his wife that came down Lewis Street and pruned all the trees. So where did we get all this money in the last few years? Overnight?
We put 3,000 in the budget last year.
So that was around the time last year or so when I called, and Mike Stires and his wife came and pruned them for us.
Do you remember the month that you called? Remember
It was summertime, it was warm.
Okay, because we did adopt the budget late last year.
Okay.
I believe we adopted it, it was sent out by April. The middle of April it was.
So there was money.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
do you
about
know-
2017, but I know 2018.
Okay, so do you know, is that gonna cover like the whole town or just certain areas in town? Because I know
No idea.
some of the areas in town are pretty bad to come out on streets to be able to see. So do we know like what areas we're gonna start?
It's up to the mayor.
It's up to the mayor.
Of course it is. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Pierce. Mr. Boyce.
Dan Boyce, 244 Irwin. This is a little self-serving with what happened. To me, I'm realizing a lot of things. I just met the officer that brought me back to life a few weeks ago. I'm here to request everybody, council, mayor, I wish he was here, audience, residents, to really stop
the bull crap. We're getting into the political season. I already saw the last meeting, the political jockeying. You got people here that are very self-serving. You know, they stand around, get their hair cut with a pencil sharpener, they think they're impressing people, I don't know. But I hear a lot of things going one way and another way. Stop blaming people for things, just to blame somebody. If you're gonna blame, I'm gonna say, if you're gonna blame the mayor, but have proof about it. Stop giving credit, and he's gotta stop too. Stop taking credit for things that you're not responsible for. You're making the whole town look bad, real bad. Recently, there's been 7 new food establishments open on South Main Street. Out of those 7, 1 is closed, 2 will be closing very soon, and another one is going to be closing by April. That's over half of them. Do something to bring businesses in to stay. The answer is not food, because there's no money being made to pay for these establishments. You need other stores. You need a bookstore, a record store, a clothing store, anything. Start hitting the pavement, start talking to people, trying to get some businesses in here. A used furniture shop would be better than an empty building.
I don't disagree, Mr. Boyce. Unfortunately, it's outside the scope of this council. Again, we're legislative, the administrative body, and we also have the UEZ. I mean, I'm not a big believer in the UEZ, but I do respect my counterparts. If they feel the UEZ has been around for a long time, South Main Street's still vacant.
Well, Councilman Litch, you said you're on UED. Maybe it's time to
Just
start
go
looking, okay, maybe it's time to start looking on ways to bring something in that.
I must say, Councilwoman Danielle did a wonderful job last year on the UEZ, but she couldn't get anywhere with it. That's the problem. You can't get anything. It's a club. You might as well say it's a club.
I
And you
understand
can't, if you're a newcomer, you can't get anything done.
I'll be quite honest, at Mayor Ellis's suggestion, I contacted UEZ to bring a business in on my own, who they refused to speak to me. Okay? There's your UEZ.
Yeah. If it was up to me, I abolish the UEZ. I would abolish UEZ. We haven't gotten any money into UEZ in the last 5-7 years. So, and we keep on giving them as a town, it's in our budget. We give them, I think it's $12,000, $12,500. I really don't think it's worth it. I think we should go to a different avenue. Seriously.
It's sad because excuse me, there's a lot of comparisons between Phillipsburg and Easton and Easton and Easton and Easton and Easton. If you look at Easton, and Easton is really not that good, to be quite honest. You go up Northampton Street, it's good. Go 1 block in either direction, and you're looking at downtown Harlem in the 70s.
You're right. You're right. But Easton, Phillipsburg, we have to get this to people's head. Phillipsburg is not Easton. It's nice to get certain things that you can communicate and join together. That's great. But we have to hold our own. We have to hold our own. And everybody looks at Easton, which is a great spot. Sal Panto did a wonderful job the last couple of years. And I hope he does better more and more. But we have to hold our own. We have to get our niche into Phillipsburg to draw the people over.
It's time to start.
And I think, and I really think, if I may say this, Frank, we have it. It's going to happen. So it's just a matter of time. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to take overnight, but we think we have a pretty good something coming into the town.
I hope so. I've said it numerous times. It's time to start looking at towns like Nazareth, Quakertown, Hellertown, the little towns, and see how they've developed, rather than try to go on this landscape of the big cities.
Right.
I agree, 100%. So that's all. I don't want to see the political jockeying and the infighting and everything.
But I'd just like to say something. I know your time's up, but I'd just like to say something. and I said it once before, you do not realize what's happening behind closed doors. There's so much going on behind closed doors. Used people would be, I can't believe this is happening. We see it every day. We see it every day that happens. And it's, how can I say, all I wanted to say, it's, you can't believe what's happening behind closed doors. That's all I want to say on that.
Well, I don't want to see the other problems that people keep exaggerating and polarizing and just sticking with, scare people away or force people away.
Oh, you're right. You are so right. I mean, people have called the mayor about the redevelopment, and he doesn't return their phone calls.
It's sad that these businesses that are in town, that are leaving, these people put savings in and losing.
You're right. You're 100% right. I totally agree. Maybe if we implement, and the mayor comes up with the implement of the 300,000, which gives them 20% of their rent, that may help them. That may help them. But until we get the final papers on that and go from there, it's time. Everything is time today. It's just time. It won't happen overnight, I guarantee.
I'm sure. Just so it's going on the right course.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce.
Wayne Kelly, 37 Valley Avenue. I'd like to talk about the $184,000 haul truck that we barely use to pick up mattresses and hot springs on the road. I've seen that claw truck take down 3 branches trying to pick up mattresses, hot springs. And they're picking them up by hand, off the streets, the DPW. Why can't we get rid of it? It's a $184,000 claw truck, we're not using it. With nice scroll wheels.
I think it's something that we should take a look at in the budget this year. So, I'd say goodbye, but he left. I was Low Pappin resident. I think it's something that we should take a look at in the budget this year. If we're not using it, I think I need to get the statistics from the mayor and the DPW to find out how much it is in use. You know, it may be that they're using it every day, maybe you only see it sometimes. So I would have to gain a better perspective and see how long it's being used.
And then if they're using the claw truck to pick up mattresses that are supposed to be bed bug infested, why does that truck sit in the DPW lot with a half a